Okay, welcome again. This is Dr. Knox, wanting to welcome you to the Masters of Science in Business Management and Leadership information session. I will be going through a presentation, and as you listen to the presentation and you have questions, go ahead and put those questions up. And when we are done, I will ensure that all the questions will be answered before we conclude for the evening. You will have an opportunity to follow up with additional questions with my assistant, Ms. Trayvon Bynum, who goes by the name Trevi. She is sitting in the meeting with me and will hear what I'm talking about, and she would also have the opportunity to review some of the questions you have. So let us go ahead and get started. Again, I want to welcome you to our information session about our Masters of Science in Business Management and Leadership. Again, I am Dr. Edwin Knox. I am the Academic Director for the online degree programs in business. In addition to our master's programs, we have an undergraduate business program as well. With an MS in business, a management and leadership degree, you can do several things. You can certainly vie for jobs in business, nonprofit organization, government agencies at all levels. If you haven't given much thought to it, all industries have the need for people to manage the organization, and that's really what the business component of an organization is. And so we'll teach you how to do that. You can also work towards a promotion. Many times you go into a job and it seems like you're stuck there. With an additional bit of knowledge, you can then vie for promotion. And then it's also a springboard to a new career. Some students are going to come in from other disciplines that are not business. They may come in from a field of sociology, engineering. I think we got quite a few technical students, and then some from the fine arts, and they may want to lead organizations for which they are interested in, but running the organization. Why would you want to choose SBS? The biggest reason I think is that you're part of the City University of New York. It is the largest urban institution in our country, making it almost the largest in the world. We have an excellent reputation. We pride ourselves on access, and certainly when you look at some of the work that we're doing here, we also focus on excellence. We are regionally accredited by the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. They authorize us to provide degrees. The tuition is in-state, and that is regardless of your home address. So if you live outside of New York State, you would still get the same rate. If you live outside of the country, you'll get the same rate as well. We have the same standards in our master's program as we have in our BS in Business online program, which is ranked #1 in New York City, #12 in New York State by the U.S. News and World Report. Our program outcomes are basically to outline what the expectations of industry would have for you, and that is, one is that you have a solid appreciation of business, that you have strong analytical skills, that you understand the technological environment to which you are finding yourselves in over the earlier part of the century, as well as your ability to make decisions, to look at data, to analyze them, to see what some of the issues are, and make solid decisions that make sense for the business. We also want to ensure that you have a good sense of ethics and social responsibility, so that's sort of integrated in all the courses that you'll be taking. We want to make sure that you have a global perspective, so not only understanding business in the context of the US, but understanding business in the context of other countries throughout our world. Your ability to think strategically, to not just be able to make a decision, but to know that that decision is probably the best of many decisions that you understand how to make those decisions in such a way that it will propel the company forward, not just get it to take one step, but certainly propel it into a wonderful future. Your written and oral communication skills would be extremely important as a leader. So we want to make sure that you have strong writing skills and strong speaking skills. And above all else, because it is a leadership program, it is to teach you how to work with a team. I would strongly stress that you give some thought to the fact that you're coming into a leadership program. So there will be a lot of team-based work that's done. So if you have a real difficult time working with students, or you feel like that's a heavy lift, unfortunately, the program is designed around your ability to work with other people. And that's what leaders do. The degree structure, there's is a total of 30 credits. Um, you'll find that many of the other degrees around the city and throughout the state and in other um, states, the degree programs would be in excess of 36 credits. Our degree program is 30 credits squarely, and it's comprised of 3 areas, the largest area being 21 credits, which is part of the business core. Those are the things that every student will take. And those core courses is what gives you the foundations of what we believe the outcome should be in business. You would then have the opportunity to take electives, 6 credits of electives. That allows you to sort of shape your degree around what it is that you think you would specifically be interested in. So you get just a little bit more than maybe some of the other students in a particular area. And then we have a capstone, and that capstone is designed to sort of give you an opportunity to show your abilities to integrate all of the things that we have learned. So we would give you the knowledge, we would give you a skill set, and then in the capstone, we would like for you to take and showcase your ability to think and to perform based on what it is that you have learned in the program. The required courses, there are roughly 7 courses: organizational behavior and leadership. Since it is a leadership program, that's one of the most significant programs that you have. Business is a lot about your ability to be accountable for things. So the accounting course is really to allow us, or to allow the organization to know where it's spending its money and how well it's doing that quantitative decision making, your ability to look at data, analyze it, process it in a very strategic way, and make a decision about what to do now that you have that particular understanding. Knowledge and information systems, how do we communicate? How do we get knowledge? How do we pass that around an organization becomes important. Economics. Economics is the basic premise for which business is built on. Understanding the economies, whether you understand it in a local, state, national, or global way, that becomes important, that you have a good sense of that and how business decisions are made based upon that. And in all things that we do, we have the law. So when we look at business, there are laws that governs our behavior and the things that a company can and cannot do. So you will take a business law course, and then corporate and international finance. The bottom line to businesses is to make money in most cases, even if it's a non-profit, they need to ensure that they're able to finance the work that they wish to do. So that, in fact, is a required course. When we talk about the electives, it gives you an option, the option to sort of build around the things you care about. Some of you would be more interested in really learning how to lead. And there we have the leadership development component. If you're going to lead, and anytime you bring people together, you are going to have some sort of conflict. So we teach negotiation and conflict resolution, managing diversity in a global context. And so that's looking at all different variables that make us different as people, whether it be age, nationality, whether it be culture, whether it be race. Those things are blending together as we become a larger global society. And so that would become important. The big piece that some of you will probably be interested in is the entrepreneurship, wanting to start your own business. And even if you're not interested in starting your own business, how to think entrepreneurially. Organizations grow because they keep reinventing themselves. Entrepreneurs help society grow because they keep coming up with great ideas that would change the ways in which we do things. Strategic marketing and social responsibility. Certainly, we want to know how to get people to come in to our organizations and provide us with the revenue sources, take our products and make use of them. But at the same time, we want to ensure that we are being responsible to society as a whole. So your elective options are really for you to decide that little extra thing that you would want to walk away with an understanding about. So you'll have the option to take 6 credits of electives. And then we have the capstones. The capstones are designed in such a way that whichever of these capstones you take, it will challenge you to be able to articulate, to showcase your knowledge, skills, and abilities when it comes to business management and leadership. The 4 options we have right now is the Global Strategic Management. You'll learn a lot about different practices and strategies that have been used in corporations and mid-sized businesses to make a difference on how the organization moves forward. Global Virtual Enterprise. A lot of what we see today is business that is on the web. So we have an option for you to do that, something different than brick and mortar, but you would still have to show your appreciation of business. It's just the context would be virtual as opposed to your brick and mortar. Applied research, your ability to understand what an issue is, find the information that is necessary to help you make good decisions. In the process of doing that sort of research, to understand the problem is it's going to be addressed in the course applied research. Then there's the thesis. I would recommend this for anyone who is expecting to go off into a PhD program, or there's just something that you're passionate about and you just feel there has to be an answer. That is also tied to the research course, but the thesis is basically addressing something that hasn't been discovered or something that hasn't been answered, but clearly we know that it's a problem. And so that will allow you to sort of venture into the unknown and figuring out how do you resolve a problem that exists in a business context. We have prerequisite courses. There are 4 undergraduate courses. If you have not taken these courses, I would encourage you to do so, but it doesn't mean that you can't come into the program here in the spring. However, you will be required to have a financial accounting course under your belt at the undergraduate level, statistics at the undergraduate level, micro or macroeconomics, again, because it's the basic premise of business, and then computer applications. There is a major focus on making decisions using Excel. So that course is required mainly for the Excel. If you have taken an Excel course, please make sure that we're aware of that at the time that you're admitted into the program. Now, you don't have to take these as full courses, 15-week courses. You can take what we call a CLEP exam, and that's just really studying on your own. When you're prepared, just go in and take the exam. If you pass the exam, then you forego having to take the class. There are some open resource courses that are on the web. We are willing to take those as well. So if you can find a course in the open access resources and you pass it, with the certification, we will take that. Statistics can be satisfied with the UCL exam. That is associated strongly with the military, but it pays attention to some heavy quantitative things. By doing this, you can expedite getting the courses behind you. However, you still are welcome to take them on the 15, 7-week, or 3-week terms. You can take those courses anywhere. They do not need to be taken at SPS. We just need proof that you have taken the courses and you've passed the courses with a C or better. Our program characteristics. This program is highly collaborative. interactive and participatory. You're going to be highly engaged and expected to be highly engaged. Although it is online and it's not inside the classroom, we sort of engage you throughout the week. You get assignments, the professors are available. There is tasks that you'll have to do, writings that you'll have to do, readings that you need to do, and then there's discussions back and forth. So it is a very collaborative program. We use the Blackboard learning platform. Some of you may not be familiar with it, but it is where we deliver all of the education that you're going to get while you're here at CUNY SPS. You would come up into a learning environment that you and the students who are registered in that particular class will work together with your professor. The maximum number of students in a class is 25. We have some classes that we think are even more critical, that the maximum enrollment can be 10. In some it may be 15, but depending on what the interaction needs to be between the professor and the students, that will set the number of students in a class. But the max that you will ever be in a class with is 25 students. You can attend the program as a part-time student or full-time student. The majority of our students are part-time, mainly because they have other things drawing on their time, whether it be family or work or some other consideration that doesn't allow them to attend full-time. But we do have full-time students if you have sufficient time in your schedule to do that. Our courses are offered routinely across various semesters. Certainly the standard fall and spring semester, all the courses are at 15 weeks. We have instituted, as of 2 years ago, a winter session where the courses are 3 weeks. Those are considered highly intense courses, and you really need to be very, very focused or very, very knowledgeable, because what you get in 3 weeks is what other students will get in 15 weeks. We also offer in the summer those same intense courses, 3-week courses, and then we have a 7-week what we call accelerated learning. Now it gives you a little bit more than 3 weeks, but it certainly doesn't give you as much time as 15 weeks. And again, when you are looking at these courses, be very, very comfortable in the amount of knowledge that you already have, or in your study habits, that you know that you are very focused and that you are able to sit and be able to do that work in such a short amount of time, especially for the 3-week courses. Financial aid you will get via loans, scholarships, and we certainly want to encourage you to talk to your employer to make sure to see if they have employee reimbursement programs. Many of our students do come from city organizations or corporations that provide that as a means of compensation. What is it like to learn online? No different than what it is in your traditional brick and mortar course. You still have the professor who will be engaged in the course with you, will lay out the type of tasks, the readings and things that they believe you need to navigate to understand or to begin to understand a subject matter. You will also engage with other students the same way that you would engage with them in the classroom. From time to time, you will run into professors who will, in fact, use collaborative visual learning, the same way that you're seeing the presentation. Simply what they would do is use a platform that would allow you face-to-face or to engage you where there is a back and forth in terms of speaking or typing. So we're pretty much the same. It's just that the platform is different. Our faculty, the majority of our faculty have terminal degrees. They're PhDs from notable schools. Those without them certainly have their masters from very significant schools within New York and within the region, and some internationally. So we have very committed faculty. They love what they do. They enjoy teaching. and that they're passionate about their disciplines. So it makes for a sort of exciting exchange. In our law classes, there's the mock courts and that sort. In the group dynamics, you'll study some businesses that are local. In some of our research firm courses, some of the professors bring into the discussions corporations with their problems who will work with the students to help them understand how to in fact do research. So our faculty are really invested in your growth here as young scholars, and certainly looking to make sure that you're positioned to have a wonderful tour in your career once you leave the program. Our students. Our students are probably like all of you who are listening to my voice. Most are working adults. Some are in career transitions. Many of you have families. And some of you need to approach a degree that gives you the flexibility around your schedule. It's very hard to go to brick and mortar when you have a job and you're trying to raise kids, or you have to deal with aging parents. So it gives you the flexibility. So you can get up and do it at 2 a.m. in the morning, or 12 noon, or 1 p.m. So you get that you get the flexibility to work with your schedule. We have people from around the 50 states, but also around the world. We have a very rich sort of population that is somewhat reflective of the diversity that we find right here in New York City, for those of you who are local, and for those who are not, who may know a little bit about how diverse New York as a city is. What does it take to be successful? And I think these are the things you definitely should take away from this presentation as you consider doing that you are organized and that you have a good sense of time management. If not, I would tell you to probably take a refresher, a time management seminar, or look at how well organized you are. You certainly have to be self-directed and committed to the process, because sometimes it will feel like it's just you. We try to work to prevent that sort of feeling, but from time to time it would feel that you are on one side of the computer by yourself, although there may be other people talking with you. But you're going to be self-directed, and you should be really committed at this time, and specifically for a master's degree program. You have to have the willingness to ask questions. I don't think any of you should think about coming into a degree already knowing everything that there is to know. That's a waste of money. So if you're going to start a degree program, you certainly should come in knowing that you need to learn something, and the best way to learn is to ask questions, and then you will get support from those around you. Please make sure that you're talking to your colleagues, to your family, to your friends, and letting them know that you're going through this, so they have an idea of what you're going through, so they can support this as you make this journey for this master's degree. It's an arduous task, but it's one that can be fairly enjoyable with the support of the people around you. Student services. We provide an infrastructure that is designed to ensure your success. Career services certainly can talk to you about jobs or potential internships or what's going on in industries. That is, you can reach them online, or you can come on to our campus. We're located on 31st Street in Midtown Manhattan, so we are accessible by all the trains and buses that you need, or you can drive and park. But we're here, and we do have a campus. I do want to make that clear. You will have one advisor. Your advisor at this time, when you come into this program, is Trevon Bynum, who is sitting in the room with me as well. She will be responsible from working with you from the time that the decision is made for you to come into the program until your graduation. She will be that person who will understand what your needs are and sort of communicate those things to us, and ensure that we can provide whatever it is that you need to solve your specific issue. Tutoring. Many of our students are a little bit older non-traditional students, so they come and they haven't taken some things in a while. It's not that if you don't use it, you lose it. Sometime if you don't use it, you kind of get a little rusty, and tutoring can bring you up to speed. So we do have folks that will help you with your writing, and we also have what we call quantitative and reasoning fellows who will help you with your critical thinking, with your statistics, with your number issues, your computation skills. We have an award-winning library, which is tied to Baruch. For those of you who are familiar with the City University of New York, it is online, and you are always welcome to come to the campus and make use of the library. We have a help desk that is fully online. So as you run into problems, you will have a number that you can reach them, or an email that you can communicate with them on. And so that's fully supported. So in the middle of the night, you run into a problem. I think we may do the 24 on that some nights, or a little bit later, but we'll make sure that you're clear on that. The orientation, once you're accepted into the program, what we will do is we will put you through a 7 to 10 day orientation that will help you figure out how to navigate the Blackboard, how to submit assignments, what it feels like to be in the class, what you can expect from your end, and what you can expect from the other side, from the administrator and the faculty of the course. I mentioned earlier the issue around entrepreneurship. Many of you will be thinking about starting your own business, or you would think about how you can help change an organization, how you can contribute to its forward motion. A lot of that has to do with your enterprising way of thinking. So we have an entrepreneurship network within CUNY, which is rather competitive in the region and also within the states. And so you'll have an opportunity to work with students, faculty, and some mentors in sort of looking at how do you start a business. And so that network is available to students who are in the program and wish to pursue entrepreneurship as a major. Admissions criteria. Before I get into the missions criteria, I want you to understand what I'm getting ready to say is a comprehensive look. I normally get the question of whether or not I could get in the program if my GPA is not a 3.0. That is the desired GPA. But when we make a decision about you coming into the program, we make it comprehensively. So we take a look at all of the work that you've done at the academic level. So we look at all of your transcripts. We certainly will look at your GPA. Your personal statement is important. When you're writing a personal statement, I would tell you, try to figure out how to connect what it is that you want to accomplish to what it is that you believe you will get tied to this program. That personal statement is extremely, extremely important. We want to know a little bit about yourself, but ultimately when it's said and done, we want to see that there is a good match between what you're trying to accomplish and what we believe we can do, that we can provide you. 2 letters of recommendations. I would strongly suggest you stay away from friends, and that you look at possibly getting it from your boss, someone who can really state about your abilities to accomplish things, your abilities to navigate in an academic process, your skill level. Friends don't do that. I really, really want to stress that your recommendations are supported by or provided by people who can honestly attest to your abilities to navigate at the master's level. Your resume showing relevant work experience. Sometimes we don't do so well in one thing, but we get out and all of a sudden we find ourselves at the supervisory, management, or executive levels. Those things are important to talk about. It gives us an idea about what you have engaged and how you can contribute to the classroom, or how a professor can help shape that even further in terms of the learning context. So really take a look at your resume, talk about the things that showcases some of the experience and capabilities that you currently have. Interviews may be necessary if there's a question that is raised on your application, we may decide that we want to talk to you via phone or a Skype call. I haven't seen a lot of that, but I would tell you from time to time that becomes a little bit necessary, and it may be very critical. For those of you who may have already taken a look at some of the other programs, you will note that many of them require a the graduate aptitude test or the GRE. We do not require either of those things here. Therefore, the other things become extremely necessary. So please put some thought into meeting the admissions criteria. The cost is $455 per credit. Each course is 3 credit hours. If you are to go full-time, regardless of what your load is and the number of credits, you would pay $5,385. Again, that's whether you're in state or out of the country, it's the same things. There may be some additional fees like technology fees. There may be some student government fees. There may be, but they're not going to be anything that is absorbent and would cause you pause. So I do want to state that there may be some additional fees. Books and materials, certainly you need to be prepared to buy the tools of your work. We are in the process right now of trying to reduce the cost of your education by reducing book costs. So you may be able to see when you register something that says OER, and that's Open Educational Resources. Normally those the cost of those courses are a little cheaper because we use publicly available materials. Financial aid, again, is available in the form of loans, scholarships, and certainly employee reimbursements. For more information, Trayvon Bynum, who will be the advisor for you, you want to reach out to her. You see her email there. You also see her telephone number, and you will note that right next to call, she has indicated Trevi. That's what she goes by, and that means she wants to make a much more personal connection to you. Okay, with that said, I want to thank you all for taking out the time to hear a little bit about our program, and I hope that we pique your interest enough that we will in fact see you in the spring. Have a great evening, and thanks again. Good night.